Welcome to this Security I Trust presentation. Today we're looking at website security headers and why they are important. By doing this, we're actually jumping back to the basics of website security. If we can't get simple things like the basics right, how do we expect to achieve more complicated things? Website security headers are nothing new. They have been around for years. Many of them have even been industry standard for the last 10 years. So why is this an issue that we need to address in this presentation today? The answer is we should know what we're doing. Everybody in website development should be doing this as common knowledge every day for the last 10 years or more. The fact is they're not. Many people involved in website development and website management don't even know what security headers are, don't even know what key security headers they should have, and their teams don't even know how to implement them. So this is a major security issue that exists out there that is very basic and should not exist. Why does the problem exist? There's four key reasons: developers with outdated skills, poor staff training, software development life cycles not including security, and failure to learn from our mistakes. The developers with outdated skills, they may be teaching your new developers, but they have been coding for 10, 15, 20 years. The way they code today is the way they coded 20 years ago. Same way they code, they haven't learned. Why do they need to learn? We all know about bugs in websites, bugs in so many software that we run in our computers, etc. So by improving our coding, we actually prevent bugs. Most hacking is actually due to bugs, and those bugs have led to security holes. Again, by actually knowing what practices are good and bad and what type of coding could cause these bugs and what type of coding practices don't, we can actually improve our security. So if developers are not improving their knowledge, they are still creating the same bugs, the same security issues they did 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they're not learning. And this is the big problem. A lot of developers are so busy, they're not actually learning, and they're still using outdated skills. Poor staff training. If we look at through many organizations, this could be a web development company to even a big corporation where they have a team that build their own websites or do their own software development. They need a new developer to know about JavaScript. So they might pick some developer, he's very good, he knows PHP and been doing PHP on other websites for years. Let's send this guy off on a JavaScript training. So now he learns a new coding language. But what about the other guys who are doing the PHP? Let's send these guys on a PHP advanced course that looks into how to improve your coding, how to better coding. What are the security issues that you should avoid when coding? What are bad coding practices because they lead to bugs, lead to security issues, etc. That is not being done. We say, oh, they're a good coder, they're coding perfect for the last 10, 20 years. They know how to build everything, they get everything done quickly. We're not looking at how can we improve the coding, how can we improve the standards. We're not looking at how to improve their knowledge in what they're doing. Giving them a new skill is not improving their knowledge, it's just meaning that there's something else that they can do, but it's not meaning that all the other stuff that they are doing day to day can be done better. And that's a big industry gap. The software development lifecycle. Who wants security involved in it? Project manager is going to say, I won't deliver my project on time. Security will stop me. Developers are going to say, it's going to take us too long. They'll find all these problems and tell us to fix them. So it means we'll build all the code, have it ready to go live, and then they'll come back with a list of issues, which means it takes twice as long. Nobody wants security in software development lifecycle. Nobody stops to think that we need to look at our software development lifecycle to ensure security is not a showstopper. So a proper software development lifecycle should look at how we develop an application so it functions efficiently, securely, with as less bugs as possible. And it needs to change the mindset of everybody's thinking in software development, in running the project, of how we do it properly. So there's both a mindset and a strategy on how it's done needed for so many corporations. Learning from our mistakes. Let's say we're the web development team, we could be for the development company, for some big corporation, etc. we developed thousands of websites over the last 10 years. Why do the websites we have today going live still have the same bugs that we had in websites we built 10 years ago? Surely we should be building websites and every now and then checking to see what bugs, what mistakes do we make, what security issues your website have. Why do they have those? Look at the coding practices we use that caused them, and then look at saying, right, how do we now ensure these coding practices that are bad are not going to re-exist in new things? What should we be doing? And we should have a list of, here's a good practice we need to do, here's a bad practice that lead to mistakes and bugs, and this way we should learn from our mistakes and say, here's the new standards, here's what we don't do. But we're not. We're repeating and repeating. We're not learning from our mistakes, and that's why these problems exist. Now let's just say you are the managing director or a manager in some company. What impact does having missing security headers have on you? So I am your new potential customer. How do I see your brand image? Well, I'm going to hire you for services. Maybe I'm going to buy your products. Maybe I'm going to hire your company to take certain workload from my company. So I'm going to turn around and actually look at your risk score. So I might go to something like Security Scorecard, BitSight, some of these vendors, and get a risk score on your organization. So I look here and I see, oh, web application security is quite bad. And missing security headers results in that being very bad. Do I want to actually buy a product that has a web-based service from you? Do I want to use your company to manage my services? You can't even do your own security properly. You're missing the basics of security. Don't know if I'll trust you. If things like this are getting out there, yes, it's damaging your brand. Customers are not going to trust you. And what would your customers even think? So let's say I'm the customer or someone else and they decide, look, we're not using these other companies to produce a risk score. We're going to do it ourselves. So we might go to securityheaders.com and just take your corporate website, drop the URL into this tool and say, just give us the results. Now this might look like it's doing a scanning tool, so there's the word scan. Basically what it does is it uploads the front page of the website and just does scan, which is basically reading the page to see what security measures are loading from that website. If this was what I got back, or your potential customer gets back, are they going to trust you? Remember, a lot of people who might be looking at this, they don't understand all of this stuff, but they're looking and saying security, report, summary, fail, big, red, F, all these things in red that are all missing. Do I really want to do business? I don't trust this company. Why would I want to do business with somebody whose security looks so bad? So there is customer trust, and whether they're looking at external reports on risk coming from BitSight, Security Scorecard, these vendors, or just tools that they have actually done and run from their teams just to get an idea of what way your corporate security is, what way your product security is, etc. Trust is lost. So security is so important for trust. Now, let's look at the other side of the coin. The hacker who has come across your websites, come across your web applications or your SaaS services. They're deciding, do I attack your business? Well, let's do a recon. And from the reconnaissance work, we don't want to be seen, we don't want to detect it, we want to just get an idea if you are a soft target or not. So yeah, load a couple of web application pages, quickly analyze them. Oh, they're missing security headers. None of the relevant security headers are in place. That means these guys are not security conscious. They probably don't care about security. They probably don't even know what basic security is, which means more complicated security is probably also not in place. This is a soft target. There's a good chance that they may not have a lot of systems in place to detect me because they don't even know how to do the basics. So there's a good possibility of a data breach, compromising them and getting something that I can use here to make some money or to make my attack worthwhile. Let's jump to a different scenario. I'm the attacker. I've just loaded your corporate page or some of the pages that I was interested in attacking and went, oh, these guys have all the main security headers in place. From just doing this basic recon where I'm staying under the radar, everything I'm seeing tells me that these guys take security seriously, that these guys have an idea what they're doing. Now, if I go to next stage 2 where I'm going to do a more in-depth recon, they may have systems that might detect me. I might spend a week looking for security issues, get detected, get caught, and have achieved nothing. Maybe I should just go to somewhere else. This might not be a good company to attack. There might be somewhere else I can get better value for my time and find a soft target. So yes, having basic security in place is a deterrent. And remember, attackers are not all sitting there on their laptops like in this picture looking at you. They have different tools out there, different bots doing recon, finding their soft targets. And all those bots are trying to stay unhidden, all the stuff doing recon. So you want to give the good impression to your customers, to the attackers, so that people trust your security, believe you know what you're doing, and that way you help build customer trust and you deter the bad guys. What security headers are important? So again, it's not that there is hundreds of security headers that you need to implement to either deter attackers, to have the basics of website security. In reality, there's only 6. The content security policy, X-frame options, X-content type options, referral policy, permissions policy, sticky transport security. So if we look at those, the content security policy is an added layer of security that helps to detect and mitigate certain types of attacks like cross-site scripting, XSS, and data injection attacks. The X-frame options header can be used to indicate whether or not a browser is allowed to render a page in something like an iframe. This can actually protect against clickjacking attacks. X-content type options is designed to protect web applications from mining type sniffing attacks. The referred policy header controls how much information is shared. This will actually help to boost privacy on your site. The permissions policy header is a security mechanism that allows developers to explicitly enable or disable various powerful features from your site that work through the browsers. The sticky transport security header, this basically helps to ensure your site runs under HTTP instead of HTTPS. If someone tries to access your site with HTTP, this tells the browser that your site runs in HTTPS and that will be automatically converted to HTTPS. So these are very important. And if you have these 6 headers, and we say we just run a quick test against your website, you're going to get a score like this. So this is going to help with general tools where people are just doing a scoring on what is your web application security. And these are the non-intrusive tools that are doing that type of testing. Again, if we look at risk scores by these vendors, BitSight, Security Scorecard, etc., their scoring is going to be quite good too because they are using all non-intrusive methods. So how can you test this? If you don't have tools in place and you don't have, we say, web application vulnerability managed scanning tools, there is some free tools out there that can help you get an idea of what way your websites are. One is securityheaders.com. That's a tool used for some of the examples in this presentation, a very trusted tool, and others Mozilla Observatory. Mozilla Observatory shows little more than headers. Again, these are 2 free tools, very good, very trusted in the industry. They're non-intrusive tools and they give you an idea of weaknesses that you might need to improve on. Not only that, but these tools also provide you with some information to help you learn how you might implement these headers, to help understand the headers, that they are very good and helpful tools. So I hope this presentation was helpful to everybody, and thank you much for joining the presentation today.